Welcome to Serving Up Plumbing with David Butler. I'm excited to get into part 2 of our pipe dope series. Before we do that, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Now, let's get into part 2. This part we're going to be talking about tubular P-traps. P-traps under sinks, under lavatories, under bathtubs, anywhere we have tubular type fittings. This is tubular. We also call it slip joint fittings. Now, with slip joint fittings, you have the slip joint nut, and you have various different kinds of washers. Some of them look like this, a clear vinyl. Some of them are a little more soft. This is a gray rubber one. This is a green rubber one. All the different manufacturers nowadays are making one. This is your adapter washer. This goes from 1 1/4 inch to 1 1/2 inch in case you're hooking up a lavatory. This fits the inside, fits the lavatory. All of these washers work the same. You can use any mix or match just depending on what the need is. Now, why do we use pipe dope on these? And where are we going to put it? First of all, we're back to the good old Megalock pipe dope. And again, we just use pipe dope on these. We never use Teflon tape, just like on the stops. I know you're wondering now, well, when do we get to use Teflon tape? Bear with me, we'll get to use it soon. But we don't use Teflon tape on tubular ever. I see it all the time on homeowners doing it. I've even seen plumbers do it. But you do not use Teflon tape anywhere on tubular. Why do we use it and where are we going to use the pipe dope? Now, we're going to use the pipe dope. Again, make sure your pipe dope's good and stirred up, not oily on top. We're going to put the pipe dope on just similar to the way we did it on the stops. It's going to go a little bit on the inside of this bevel. If you'll notice, this is beveled just a little bit right here. So we're going to put it on the inside bevel and get just a little bit on the outside threads. It doesn't need any more than that because when you screw the nut on, it'll spread it. Now this doesn't use a washer. This is the piece that does the trap arm that goes back into the wall. You'll notice it's got a built-in bevel. Looks kind of like the washer, doesn't it? So it's a built-in bevel. It does not use a washer. It's on the outlet side of the P-trap. We're going to tighten this slip joint nut down right here. And as we do, you'll notice it spreads out the pipe dope really well. We tighten it down by hand. I've always been, just because of it's my feel, I put the channel locks on it and I give it just a hair more turn. Just a little bit. If you got a really strong hand, you may not need to do that. Now, on the other side, if we've got another pipe going here. Now on this side, we're going to put this in and we'll use one of our washers. Let's just use the gray one for this. Make sure the bevel is pointing down towards the pipe. Notice it should fit in that groove right there. The bevel should be down. Again, pipe dope. Same place, same manner. Right there on the inside edge. We get just a little bit on the outside edge. Slide that in, push it as far in as you can. And we tighten this one down. Snug it really good with your hands. That's probably tight enough for most people if your hands aren't quite as strong. Again, I always get a feel and just a little bit more with my channel locks. Now, why do we do this? Now, realistically, this is going to seal just using this washer. Now, of course, who can't use a little bit of insurance, right? So if we put the pipe dope on, that will help ensure that we get a better seal. But that is not the main reason here for the pipe dope. Now, in part 1, when we talked about the stops, we were talking about how it lubricated it. Pipe dope does the lubrication here. It lubricates it, it makes it tighten down better. But what happens more than that here, and what the pipe dope is most for, is that when you run hot water through a P-trap, PVC expands and contracts an extremely large amount. So therefore, over time, with the expansion and contraction of this PVC running hot water down the sink and then cold water, then hot, this nut works loose. And of course, if this nut works loose, what do you have? Now you've got a water leak. Not only that, it could even be that this could fall apart and you get a flood under your sink. So we use pipe dope on PVC tubular, P-traps under sinks and under lavatories and under bathtubs to prevent expansion and contraction from making these come loose. Those of you that are mechanics out there are probably familiar with what we call Loctite. And in this case, that's what we're doing. The Loctite seals this nut so it will never work loose. Because the pipe dope doesn't set up super hard, but it does dry and it makes this seal stay tight so this nut will never work loose. So that's the reason we use pipe dope on tubular P-traps and tubular slip joint connections on everything we do to prevent the contraction and expansion from working our joints loose and causing plumbing leaks. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave any comments or questions below, and I'll see you for part 3.